welcome to the first episode of Millennial Talks 2021. Today we'll be discussing budgeting, how to budget, why is budgeting necessary, and what are the ways to help you budget better. So, Nifemi, how was your 2020 in terms on your finances and all of those things?
I'd like to say Happy New Year to everyone, all our viewers. And 2020 was an interesting year. We all went through a lot, to be fair. Like the pandemic of like COVID-19, the novel coronavirus hit. And when it first started, a lot of people there was a lot of unambiguity. So like we didn't know like what was going on. We didn't know
it was going to be that bad.
Yes. We didn't know that in 2021 we would actually still be talking about it. But here we are in 2021 and we're still talking about it. So for me, in terms of my finances, I'm grateful that despite what several people went through, some people lost their jobs,
yes,
some people there was like a cut
in their salaries.
Yeah. But for me, it was still okay that I still had a job. There was still a roof over my head and everything. So even though my finances were not where I wanted it to be, because like the way Nigeria has budgets, the budget for like this year they passed it like on the last day of 2020. So for me as an individual, like in 2019, I was getting my personal budget ready, figuring things out. But like when everything started in 2020, it was like, okay, I have to kind of touch this emergency saving. I have to kind of touch this money to put it here to kind of sort things out, like to make my finances to be stable at least to some extent. So that's how 2020 was.
I think for me too, I think I would say my experience was very, very was quite similar to what you experienced. 2020 had a lot of unplanned money that was spent, and I think remote working for me kind of really eats deep into my money. I won't even lie, because I had to buy fuel, I had to internet especially. Yeah, remote working sounds cool, but that internet thing really drained. I think it really took a huge chunk of my monthly planned expenses. So I think in 2021 it's a new year, and I think everybody now has to start to readjust and realign themselves in terms of their finances. There's so many information out there on plan your money, your financial intelligence, personal finance, and all of those things. And I think that's what we're trying to do here, to also help millennials like us, help them to also build wealth over time, because it's not just about now, it's about tomorrow and when you get older. Because as young as we are now, we have a lot of extra expenses, disposable income, so that you can just put to save. So what we'll be doing is to change your mindset about what budgeting is. So for a lot of people think budgeting is poverty. People think when you plan your money, it means that you are poor, or you are selfish, or you are stingy. People just have this negative idea to what budgeting is. So but what do you think, like in terms of for the benefit of those who are watching? I know yes, we are finance people, so we really understand what it means. So what do you think is the right attitude to budgeting?
I mean, when you were speaking, you mentioned that it's important, like for millennials who want to build wealth over a long period of time, right? So for me, budgeting is the foundation to your whole financial planning,
every money.
If you want to save, if you want to invest, everything will still have to come into your budget, because essentially budget is like a plan that determines how like you're going to spend your money. It is a plan that you make yourself. It's not like someone else is making the plan for you and you have to follow it. You really know your income. You know how your money comes in and how your money goes out. You know how many sources of income that you have. Some people work 2 jobs, so they know that, okay, I'm getting streams of income from 2 different sources. So it's easy for me to...
business people too.
Yes.
Starting business people, and I think budgeting might be quite harder for them, because the money is not let's say it's not static. It's not like, at this time of the month, so one customer is going to come and buy 10 bottles of wine that I'm selling. But I think for salary earners, it's more structured. But for business people, these entrepreneurs, it's not really structured. So
the funny thing is that like a lot of millennials are actually entrepreneurs, because this is the time for us to actually explore, So like we know what the statistics from MBS is saying about like unemployment rates, and millennials are like they have so much energy that I don't think that they would sit somewhere. Obviously, they'll keep trying to apply for jobs, but they still have to be entrepreneurs. And being an entrepreneur, trust me, is so difficult. They work with different people. Sometimes they work with some logistics drivers that when this one cancels, you have to try and maybe get another one that would incur additional expenses.
Cost,
You understand?
yes.
So there's that part. So the part of budgeting I was speaking about is that, you know, we can be here from now till tomorrow speaking about budgeting because it actually cannot be overemphasized. So it's when you have that plan, when you create the plan, it's what will help you to say distribute your money. Because I feel like most times people that don't budget, they don't know where their money has gone to.
Yeah, actually that's very true. And you know, when you're spending on impulse, I'm supposed to buy groceries today, I'm supposed to buy pay for my rent tomorrow, and life is about planning. But I think we Nigerians, we have this culture of not planning things that God will help us, so don't worry, God will do it. And I think his recipe is very big recipe for disaster. You know, so we need to learn to actually plan things. So for example, for someone who everybody's talking about investing your money, and investing your money, if you want to invest, trust me, you have to budget your money. You have to keep money aside and probably save it. Then from savings, you now move to level of investment. And investment, you're looking for investments that can give you yields above inflation rate and all of that. So when in budgeting is actually not ensuring that you don't spend more than what you earn. Ensuring that you don't spend more than what you earn. So you're planning your light bill, you're planning your maybe water bill, if there is water, entertainment for millennials.
Yes.
You don't know how much you spend on those little things that you subscribe for. Those cinema, and going to the cinema, and all of those online subscriptions, because a lot of things have gone digital now, so a lot of entertainment is online. So some little apps and all of those things, you think it's just 300, 500, but if you calculate the 500, 300 over time, if you actually keep it somewhere, it would, in a year it would accumulate to something.
And even giving as well.
Yes, giving. Yes,
it accumulates. So I think that sometimes we need to just like put it aside. Like we have family, we have sometimes people that depend on us, and they will always be in and out. They'll be like, "Oh,
my
aunt
is
working."
Yes, your younger sister, your cousin, your baby that somebody gave birth and you have to buy something for them.
Yes.
I think you should actually have a budget for giving, because in this Nigeria, people will guilt trip you to give money. And they will collect from you to poverty. And when you don't have, they'll still insult you again that you don't have, and all of those things. So I think people need to understand, so you don't shame people for actually saying, "Oh, I have a budget. I'm going beyond my budget." I remember like there was this Ashwebi that I wanted to do wedding. Someone was getting married, and the Ashwebi was just last year December, and things were this coronavirus and things were really let's say bleak. We didn't even know where things were going to. And she said, "Oh, come and buy clothes for so amount." And I was like, I can't afford it. It's beyond my budget. And at first it was, let's say, almost, I don't know how to say, maybe embarrassing for me to say that, but that I thought about it, that you should actually own it.
Yes.
Say, own it with your chest that, sorry,
I don't.
And
sometimes you even have that color.
Exactly. So exactly.
Exactly.
So now let's really now talk about what are the tips for ensuring that you budget properly. For me, I think the first thing is to be disciplined. Like personal discipline is very important. You have to be disciplined. Like you have to have, first of all, it starts from the mind. You have to have that your mental. There has to be a mental shift in your head about money. First of all, money is something that you're supposed to make work for you. Money is not supposed to use you. Money is a tool for getting things, So you're supposed to have that mental shift in your head. Personal discipline. Don't spend more than what you earn. Then probably
I would say having accountability partners.
Okay.
Right. One thing I feel like people would what makes people do stuff is when they have someone they're accountable to. For instance, I'll use myself as an example. I have different accountability partners. If I want to take a course, or let's say Alison, I would have a special accountability partner for that one. So I know that when I want to be on track with that, this is who I'm messaging. Same for your finances as well. Like if you budget, like I have a friend, her name is Tommy. So she was literally the one that brought me to this whole lifestyle of creating the spreadsheet, putting this here, putting that there. So most times when I feel like I'm going off track, I'll just message her that, like, how, like, your budget, your spreadsheet, how is it going, like, how is everything? Because she was one person that actually made me realize that if you budget, the things that would be clear to you is amazing. Because she realized that she was spending so much on transport that when she decided to stop, she was able to save the money and she got a car.
I think people, I think that's actually an angle. In order to, sometimes it's not bad to be able to afford luxury. It's not bad to be able to say, okay, let me do something that will make my life easy. But in a bit to do that, you actually overspend. You actually, and like that car, I'm sure she was probably using taxi or Uber or something.
She used to always do Uber. So you can imagine.
So that you calculate Uber, you realize that your money can actually, if you save money for maybe a year and a half, that money, and you manage it, you probably take public transport. I don't know. You actually buy a car,
and she's going to save more.
And you save more. Yes. Apart from all the technical issues and all, but if I believe management and if you use the car right, you should be able to.
It will last. And then there's also the part of curbing excess spending.
Yes, buying things on impulse. You are walking on the road, you see bag. I'm a corporate sha. But you see something, you see bag on the road, you say, sorry, how much is it? The first thing you say, I just want to ask. Let me just see it.
Yes.
It's just like, don't even, if you can, don't even bother, just move.
72-hour rule.
Okay, Don't buy something until after 72 hours, right? So people do 48. Because you actually now, did I actually need to buy that?
You need it. You didn't need it. So stop stopping.
No, really. God help you, because okay. So I think another thing also we need to consider is the fact that budgeting does not mean not spending money. It doesn't mean you shouldn't spend money. It just means that spend money on your needs, not on your wants. It doesn't mean that if you are hungry, you will not eat. Because at the end of the day, if you fall sick, hospital bills, it will accumulate. So it doesn't take away the place of actually buying quality products.
Right.
Don't buy cheap things. For example, buying a 5,000 naira, for example, 5,000 naira shoe, quality shoe that would last you for like a year. Then buying 1.5 shoe because you feel that it's too expensive. Whether you like it or not, that 1.5 shoe might not last. And imagine buying 3 months. At the end of the day, you still spend the same or more than that 5,000 naira. So it doesn't mean that you shouldn't actually spend money, but don't spend excessively. Do it within your range. I'm sure for every item you are buying, there's something within your budget for you. There are expensive bags. There are the quality ones that are not so expensive. Then there's the one that maybe you just they're just there and it will spoil quickly. Just find something that you can use for a long time. So it's not poverty. There's a difference between poverty mentality and budget. You don't go hungry because you're trying to save, except you're really doing it for a genuine reason, not just being stingy to yourself or stingy to those around. Because at the end of the day, you even realize that you spend more. So budgeting is about focusing on your needs and making plans for those things that you need. So I think you said something about Excel sheet. I think having a spreadsheet, you can even have notes on your phone, and there are a lot of apps that you can use to track your expenses and budget. So at the end of the video, we'll be putting out there'll be a list. Just watch out for the list of apps. Easy, simple, go-to apps for planning your expenses and budgeting. So are there disadvantages to budget? What is there disadvantage?
So let me just say, okay, so there's this tweet. I don't know, try to put it on the screen. So someone did a poll on Twitter, and essentially it was 4 questions. So the first question was, do you know what budget is? Do you stick to the budget, or do you have the budget but you don't really stick to it? So it was just like a set of questions. So apparently, it was at the time when the poll was being taken, everybody chose that they know what budget is. So
Yeah,
that one
of
had like
course.
0%. But the highest number of people fell within the range of they have a budget, but for them it's not easy to follow the budget. So sometimes millennials know, because the millennial and the Generation Z, they are the ones really active on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they really know what budgeting is. But
But
it's
you
just
just
like,
don't stick
Yeah.
to the budget.
yeah, the same thing that we've been saying, that it's not easy. And that's why we have also in this video giving them some tips on how to stay true to that budget, that being disciplined, accountability partners, covering excess spending.
Yes.
Yes.
Focus
So-
on your needs, not on
Yeah.
your wants.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think for me, I think the only disadvantage to budgeting is just the personal sacrifice you have to
Mhm.
make, which is not a disadvantage. At the end of the day, the long run,
Yes.
it's an advantage.
Mm.
So it's just the personal sacrifice for everything good that you want in life. Whether you like it or not, you have to sacrifice something.
Mhm.
So we use sacrifice. People say try to they enjoy, problem no dey finish. So we use
Honestly.
problem doesn't finish, but
Yeah.
you have to remember, in order to combat the problems, you have to have money to
Yes.
combat those problems. And where will you get the money from? From money that you have budgeted and you have saved.
Yeah.
So while you're enjoying, always remember to keep money
Mhm.
for rainy days. Always remember to budget, because you now realize that what did I exactly spend my money
Mhm.
on?
And then delayed gratification.
Yes,
Just have that principle that, you know, all of this budgeting I'm doing,
It's
or all
leading
of
me
this
somewhere.
money that I'm keeping aside is maybe taking me somewhere, maybe taking me to my first house, maybe taking me to
Yeah.
my master's or my
Yeah,
PhD.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. Or my first business,
Mhm.
or my, not every money that you get for. Yeah, let's not forget business people. For salary earners, it's easy to just, okay, my salary is 100K.
Mm.
Okay, my transport is this, my feeding is this, my entertainment is this, give my parents money and all of that.
Mm.
But what about people who do business? I think it would take extra self-sacrifice to do that, because once, for example, you've been, business just comes like, you don't expect it. Sometimes it's low, sometimes it's high. And for example, that time that is low and you've not paid your DSTV for a while, then money just comes in, and the first thing you just rush to do is go and pay. I think business people should have this higher level of delayed gratification.
Yes.
Every money you earn, that's why you should have a personal account for your business. Open a business account for your business.
Right.
So it's, even if you want to go and take the money, by the time you see Nifemi Ventures,
Yes.
it will remind you of the dream you're building, what you want where you actually want your business to go.
Yes.
Then maybe it will help you to curb your
And even
spending or something.
And even the budgeting for entrepreneurs, it will help them separate their personal income, like
I think
their business.
I think there's
so
even,
that way they won't mix it.
yes, there's even this accounting I think it's Accounting Hub on Instagram. She always says that you should pay yourself as a business person.
Yeah.
Don't say because you're a business person then you should just go and be taking money from your business.
Or just paying your
Yes, or just paying your workers and all. And you should pay yourself. Have a budget structure. Structure is very important, because structure helps to guide everybody's behavior. Helps to put a system in a business. So even when you're not there, the business is moving. Even when you're not there, because of the structure you've created, structure of quality, of efficiency, your business can still move. So if there's a structure, if you're paying yourself, you can now budget on the money that you've estimated. At least even if you've not seen the money now, you can easily estimate. Okay, this is what my business is. This is what my marketing plan. This is what is estimated revenue that we're going to get for probably this month. Then maybe you've budgeted that, okay, as the CEO or the business owner, I'll be earning 20K, for example. Then it's that money you should actually budget. Don't budget the entire money in the business account.
Yeah. So you said that you've not seen the money. So I feel like one thing that we also need to mention is that
Try not to budget.
Yes,
Money
try
that
not
you
to
have not
budget money
seen.
that you've not seen, because some people fall into that category because they're expecting this money or they're expecting that money. Sometimes unforeseen incidents will occur, and maybe you will delay the money or you will stop the money, and once that happens, you feel like your whole budget is crumbling. Like there are some people that have anxiety issues, and once the money doesn't come, then it's like their whole world is falling apart.
Yes.
So try your best not to budget money that you've not
Money that you've not seen.
and then
It's
also
dangerous.
like it's important to make your budget like flexible, kind of. So if you budgeted, let's say 20K for something, and then at the point when you wanted to get the thing, it ended up being 15K or so. You can just always change it. Like don't
But
be
in
like,
Nigeria, do you think if you budget 20K to be 15K? It's 25K.
no, me, I'm the kind of person that if I don't know the price of something, I just always add
Me, I used to add
extra.
money. Yeah, I do
So
that too
most
sometimes.
time when I get there, it's like I just always like to prepare. Do you get? So it's like make it not so rigid that there's space to change. Like, okay, imagine if, for instance, you move a higher level maybe in your place of work, and that's like, so you have to make those changes again, and it's like, okay, let me put more money into my master's fund, let me put more money into my house fund. Do you get? So just try to make your budget flexible. That's
No, don't plan on money that you have not seen. I have one contract, so you now start planning. You now start imagining all the groceries. You now start meeting vendors, telling them. Yeah, speaking about vendors, I think don't be too attached to people that you buy things from. You know when they just call you say, I have new bags for sale. Oh, come and see my customer. Why am I always mentioning new bags? I think they say, I have new this for sale. Oh, come and buy.
A bag customer.
Yes. Yes, actually, I have. They say no. They'll just call you and say, "Oh, please, I have." They'll say new goods arrived or something like that. So it's when they write it. So don't be too attached, because you feel unnecessary loyalty to that that vendor. You feel like, oh, okay, so it not look like. Please, though, you don't owe anybody money. You don't owe anybody buying things. So don't be too attached. Even if sometimes friends. I've been in that place where. Just because I felt I needed to support my friend's business, and I bought what I didn't need. But I don't know, really.
I can actually relate to that friend's one, because sometimes then it now begins to feel like every time they'll be reminding you that you say you're going to buy,
but yes,
now that kind of thing. And then again, like the thing that has to do with loyalty is that at the end of the day, when business has closed for the year, they won't even send you gift though.
Please, we'll continue that discussion. Let's hang it there.
Be careful.
Be careful. So we'll continue the discussion on the next episode. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you had a very good time, and we hope that you learned a lot of things on the show today. So do well to join us next week as we'll be discussing other important topics on managing your personal finance.
Thank you so much, guys. And also, please log on to our website, www.proshare.ng.com, to watch more videos, read our news stories, reports, and analysis.
Yes. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.